Call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Remind you that we are keeping a written and a visual record of the happenings and proceedings. In terms of awards and recognition correspondence, Commissioner Givens.
I have a letter here from the city of Ukiah. I wish Tom Fellows was here. It says, Dear Tom, on behalf of the City Council, the citizens of Ukiah, and most importantly the residents of Despain and View Streets, I want to thank you for the excellent work you and your crew did on improving and paving Despain and View Streets. Your crew moved in the equipment needed, and within 3 days the work was completed. We are amazed at how quickly the work was accomplished. Please extend our thanks for a job well done to your crew. We look forward to many more successful projects. Very truly yours, Clint Barber, Mayor, City of Ukiah. It's always refreshing to have a letter of compliment or some type of recognition for staff that have worked hard to serve the citizens, and this is a good example of it. A lot of times people think Ukiah is one of those communities that is forgotten, along with some of our other far-reaching communities, but this is appreciated.
Thank you. This is also the time at which we recognize the employee of the quarter. The Umatilla County Employee Excellence Committee was created to acknowledge and commend the efforts of employees who serve the citizens of the county efficiently and effectively, with a focus on professional development and outstanding customer service. In that spirit, the committee wishes to share with you this nomination letter from your peers that warranted this recognition, and congratulations to the winner for this quarter. Kathy is initial face of the county, in person in the lobby and on the main courthouse phone. She has been a dedicated county employee since 2000, working as office assistant in elections for 16 years, then moving to the first floor switchboard information desk in 2017. She goes above and beyond to assist people in locating phone numbers or giving directions, even when it is unrelated to county business. She always cheerfully volunteers to help with projects from other courthouse departments, proving time and again that she is willing to do whatever is needed. She has even had to act as janitor on several occasions when emergencies arose in the lobby. Kathy goes above and beyond her job time, and again, I appreciate Kathy and her commitment to Umatilla County. Super customer service. Kathy has a can-do attitude, and we are very lucky to have her representing Umatilla County. Congratulations, Kathy, and this comes with 8 hours of paid time off. So if you'd like to come forward, I'd be happy to present this to you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell everybody. After sharing
Nothing you'd rather like to see out there, Kathy, than more candy to share.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, she's pretty generous.
Okay.
Well, so much for the audience.
Yeah.
All right, we have a minutes of the September 19th meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'd move approval.
Second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any additions to the agenda, Council?
No.
Commissioner Givens?
No, I would note, we did get some rain. I don't know if we got any here, but we did get some, and those calls I've received about the burn ban. We had quite a little bit, well, not quite a little bit. I expect some mud puddles. We had just a little bit of mud puddle, but we did get rain, so maybe by next board meeting, we can look at that.
Okay. Can you put that on the agenda for our meeting Monday?
Mhm.
All right. These are vehicle purchases. Who are they for?
The first item up by request is the janitorial.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Dan, you have to go somewhere, so let's do you.
I don't know if you had public input or any
What?
questions. I guess there's.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing me first, too. We're actually getting in the midst of the election, and we're starting election training on our new system, so thank you. Before you, you have the janitorial proposal. We went out for RFP for new janitorial services, had 4 bidders, 3 of them bid all of our buildings, 1 only bid the 2 buildings in Hermiston. So MLD, the bottom one, the reason why it's lower than the rest is because it's only the 2 buildings in Hermiston, none of the buildings in Pelton. The total cost on the one that we're looking at, GK Cleaning Services, was about $7,700. About the other Relay Resources is our current contractor, and they were below them. So they are the lower bidder. We checked out their references. They have a good rapport with several businesses here in the community. They do, I have to remember some of the places. I know they clean up at D&B. They do the cleaning there. There's a couple other buildings here in town that they do too, and we called them and they seem to be happy. Pioneer Title, or Amerititle, let's see, Pioneer Title, they cleaned there, and they came back and said that they were happy with the service.
Dan, was there some reason MLD only bid on,
I think they're basically a Hermiston company, and
they didn't want to go to another?
and we told them they could do that because we weren't sure. We wanted to try to get local vendors instead of currently where we have Relay Resources out of Portland, and management becomes an issue, and we have had a lot of trouble with them meeting our standards, and was hoping that a local contractor would, they do business in this community and want to have their reputation be high. And so we wanted to see what we could, and some of them are small. So we said they could bid Hermiston only, Pelton only if they wanted. So we didn't not get everybody to bid.
Okay, Relay Resources, were they, was there a contract they had with the state also on using some of the handicap?
Now, with Relay Resources, the contract says, basically with the state law, Doug can answer that a little bit better, but we have to go through a handicap certified company in a sense. But if they're not meeting our criteria, and we go through the motions of proving that or showing that, which they have failed, and we gave them time to rectify, and they were not able to. And so that means we can't go out for other bids, if I'm kind of summing that up correctly.
Right. Yes, Relay Resources is a qualified rehabilitation company. Under state law, however, they have to, even though they have a higher bid, they would normally come in and get the contract. But due to their deficiencies in the past performance, we no longer are required to take them. So in this case, we are going with a low bid with the understanding that there is a finding in this that Relay Resources past performance no longer meets the needs of the county.
Okay.
They did improve their services quite a bit here at the courthouse, but they did not do that at the Justice Center or the Stafford House, so we still have issues there.
I've gotten some, as you well know, Dan, because I've talked to you about it. I've had complaints about the courthouse here, especially restrooms.
Right.
So,
But this is probationary.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll do a contract through June, and then we'll negotiate there. I'm estimating that we probably wouldn't start the new contractor to either December 1st or January 1st, because they need time. We need to notify Relay, we got to get the contract and all that done. So I mean, the earliest might be November 1st, but that might be cutting it. So I'm saying December 1st will probably be more of a reality when the new contract, so it'll be a 7-month, 6 to 7 month period, and then we'll see when we get towards June there, what we'll do.
A motion?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we award the contract for our janitorial services to G&K Cleaning Services, which did meet the specs for all the buildings as the low bidder, and not only just the Hermiston bidder.
Yeah, and they're out of Athena, Oregon too, by the way.
Okay.
Good. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
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 Right, thank you very much.
Back to your training session. Before we go on with the agenda, is there any public input from anyone other than an item on the agenda? Okay. Teddy, are you doing the next two? Okay.
Teddy Orr, Umatilla County Weed Department. So what we're doing is we're proposing to purchase a side-by-side utility vehicle for the weed department. Kind of the motivation behind this is a lot of our work is continuously going off-road where we're using our pickups. We currently have one. This would be for the field manager for his use. Went out to bid. We didn't get any responses on our bid, so I asked John Deere about a state contract. I believe that's right. And so we are looking at the purchase of the side-by-side and trailer for the proposed budget that we were put together for last year. So.
Okay. I had a question. We didn't get any bids, and I'd asked Doug a little bit about this. With no bids, how wide a net did we cast on sending out bids? Because I know for utility vehicles, or UTVs, we've got a number of local dealers. If you look at all of our equipment dealers, then if you go over the mountain, there's LeGrand. You go just across the border into Walla Walla County, grain growers, a lot of them. So that's why I was surprised we didn't get any.
I know we posted it on the net, and it may have been partially my fault, but I didn't send it out specifically to any vendors. That may have been partially my misunderstanding of how the bid process works. I did send it to Morrow County. They didn't send one in. They sent me an estimate early on, but they didn't send a bid for the bid pricing. But that was the only one that I'd send it out to, because that's the one they'd already sent in an estimate to me, and I wanted to make sure they got on the list.
Morrow County Grain Growers.
Correct.
So Doug, are we required by law to contact or send out?
No, we aren't. No, we're not.
So
We normally do, but
we can simply post it? Okay. Yeah, in the future, my recommendation would be that we
Make sure we get it out to the other vendors.
It's out there, because we could get maybe a lower price, better deal. So, with that, Mr. Chair, I'd move approval of the utility vehicle from RDO.
Second? Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Items 1 and 2. All right, thank you, Ted.
Yep.
Item 3, Mr. Primer.
oh,
What?
Stop.
we have item number 2.
2, the utility trailer?
Oh, I thought that was part of that, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Teddy.
The trailer is essentially just to haul the current bike that we're purchasing, and they both fall under the original bid, or the original budget line. I think we had 16.5, if I'm not mistaken, and it falls under that dollar amount.
Okay, and we didn't have to go out for a bid on
No,
that.
not for
But this
so-
trailer's under 5,000.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So,
And
but
I
there
did
were
go-
quotes obtained.
I
What?
did go to different vendors, so I went up to, I forget it, J&D out of Walla Walla. I went to DMB, I went to Northwest Farm Supply, and did get different numbers for trailers, and this was the best price for what met our needs, so.
Mr. Chair, I'd move approval.
Second, in favor, say it.
That's a pretty good price. Aye.
Aye. Yes. That's what I had to pay for mine from Northwest Farm Supply. They're a good local dealer, so. All right, Mr. Primer.
Morning, Commissioners. Dale Primer, Director, Umatilla County Community Justice. Which one are we on? PFD. So in 2009-10, Community Corrections went through a rather large budget reduction and departmental restructure. With that came the laying off and loss of our bookkeeper position. That position at that time largely performed the role of maintaining the books in terms of offender accounts for those that were in the work release center, but also helped out with a variety of other budgeting, payables, and other tasks. With the laying off of that position over the years, we have consolidated those duties into other remaining and existing staff, and to the point where as the operations continue to grow, as we rebuild after those reductions, to the point where the workload is not manageable within their current administrative staff. So the proposal is to recruit and hire a .5 FTE bookkeeper position. Pay range 20. This is currently budgeted in the Community Corrections budget 1527.
And is that in your budget? You've got it there?
Yep.
Without.
Yep, and just a reminder, there's no general fund impact to the Community Corrections budget.
Okay, that was what I was wanting to know. That is the key to it. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd move approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
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 Doug, this is kind of related to community corrections. All your community corrections issues with clients, that's totally under the regulation of the state. Is that correct? We, as a county board, have no authority to dictate any of those releases, anything dealing, because it's a state agency.
So twofold. Are you talking about releases? So you're talking about people coming out of prison onto parole? Is that what I'm understanding?
That's correct. Or people you're supervising,
So,
that, let's say they are in violation of their parole or
yeah.
whatever.
So you're right. Most of that is governed through Oregon administrative rule, although there, personnel policies and various other policies are policies that we adopt as a county department. So it is basically a bifurcated system where we're funded through the state of Oregon. We enter into an intergovernmental agreement that we perform services in a way that's approved by a review of the commissioners, the LIPSIC, and the Department of Corrections. So we do have local county policy as it relates to a variety of personnel and operational impact or operationals, but things like who we supervise, that's outlined by state statute. Those referrals come to us by the state courts. The folks that are coming out of prison are coming out of a state prison where their release is dictated by the terms of their sentence and the sentence calculation that is done by the Department of Corrections. So we're really working in a two-track system where we have local control over the delivery of our service, but our service is largely defined by statute and an Oregon administrative rule.
And through the Department of Corrections.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you for clarifying that. I wanted that on the record. That
Okay.
it is the Department of Corrections, that we don't set as a county board parole and probation standards. That comes through the Department of Corrections.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The second item I have, if you recall, about a year ago, we came to you kind of in an emergent situation where I was driving to work one day and we could see the window coverings hanging out of the side of the building where the sun had basically just baked our windows to the point where the seals and caulking had dissolved and a couple windows had actually fallen out of the building. So we came to you with, we worked through the maintenance department to receive multiple bids at that time, and we replaced the windows on the south and west side of the building. So when we came into this budget cycle, we budgeted to finish that project out and to upgrade the windows the remaining windows with energy efficient windows that are tinted to reduce the amount of sun damage and the rest. So this is basically finishing the project we began a year ago.
Ready for,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I would move approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Primer.
Thank you.
Those windows you lost, were they double pane?
Yeah, they were put into the building when we built it in 1996. But, you know, I mean, actually some of those windows, they had, the sealant had gone, and, you know, we closed the work release center down in 2009, and the actual plastic Venetian blinds behind them were melted, and it was just, you know, they had lost any energy efficiency, so to the point where the window framing obviously stayed in, those things are nailed to the building, but the actual panes of glass.
Where the caulking had just dried up and, okay.
You're pretty exposed up there.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what that sun will do too, especially on the side.
That face, right? Okay. Item 6, appointment to the Planning Commission.
Okay, Mr. Chair, Bob Walder did discuss this with me, and I did not have any issues with it unless you had questions.
No, well, we talked about this on Monday, and no, I don't. My question of council was, could we do it? And assuming we can, I'm fine with it. So, do you want to make the motion? Do you want me? It's actually an order, so.
So, and that is my liaison. So,
Sure.
with that, Mr. Chair, I would move approval of Order BCC 2018-066, appointing John Salter to the Umatilla County Planning Commission.
Second?
And with that, I would ask you, Doug, to explain, this is not in any way reflecting that he is being paid. These are volunteer positions, and this is not part of his original job. And that was a question you had, I think.
Right, that is correct. He works for the county in a different capacity than the duties that would be coming before the Planning Commission. So we don't see any conflict or any similarity in duties that would prevent him from serving.
Okay.
All those in favor? We're
You have
voting.
any other questions? No, I know. Oh, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. This is payable to the Intermountain ESD for an agreement we signed last year to launch a program which was an expansion of our care program, and I would move that we approve the payable.
Now, I don't second this doesn't pass.
Right.
And if it doesn't pass, do we lay off people?
Well, we laid the person up. I mean, it was only a one-year position.
And the person's not a county employee.
Yeah, they're an ESD employee, and they're no longer in the position. It was last year, so.
Right.
So,
So if we don't pay it, we're not paying our bill.
that's what it is, yes.
Okay.
So, the person resigned from the ESD and left the area, so
I
you'll
will
have no
second
impact. So did you make that motion? Thank you.
Well, you
Sec-
made the motion.
Oh, that's right, second.
I seconded it.
Well, you're giving me trouble. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I won't do this one. This is a reappointment to the Wild Horse Foundation Board.
This is a nomination that will be submitted to the Board of Trustees for appointment to the Wild Horse Foundation under the terms of the, not charter, compact. The Board of Wild Horse Foundation, one of the appointments is from Umatilla County, and the Board of Commissioners recommends the individual And in this case, we're asking for a reappointment of the current serving commissioner.
And this is coming from Wild Horse.
Yes, they are requesting
Okay.
that since the term expires at the end of November.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I would move the approval of BCC 2018-067, appointment of George Murdoch to the Wild Horse Foundation Board of Directors.
Since there's no benefit, can I go ahead and, yeah, I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 They don't pay you for that, do they?
No, they just make me do a lot of work.
Okay?
Takes, as Melinda will
Is-
tell you, it takes many, many hours.
How much have we garnered from Wild Horse over the years?
There's usually 1 or 2 grants per cycle.
Yeah. It's a
those are
million one a year, and it's about 11,500,000 total. Not all to the county, but,
Yeah.
well, we'll go into hearing mode, but,
Well,
Try to do the budget transfers first.
okay.
is Doug not here?
Robert is running late, and he'll be here for but hopefully I can cover these. There are 5 proposed budget orders for transfers for 5 different programs. The first one is an on-site septic program, and it requires a transfer of appropriations to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. And this requires an increase in personnel services of $13,561 and a decrease in contingency of $13,561. This is to address the added personnel that was previously approved, that position. For Budget Order 2019-25 for Environmental Health, it requires a transfer of appropriations to appropriate funding not known at the time of the adoption of the budget. And this requires an increase in personnel services of $6,734 and a decrease in contingency of $6,734. And this is for funding of the portion of environmental health caused by the reorganization of the Public Health Department. Budget Order 2019-26 is for Community Services Development. It requires a transfer of appropriations to appropriate funding not known at the time of the adoption of the budget. And this requires an increase in materials and services of $22,000 and a decrease in contingency of $22,000. Budget Order 2019-27 for the NAFA Special Projects Program. And it's a transfer of appropriations to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. And this requires an increase in materials and services of $4,940 and a decrease in contingency of $4,940. And finally, under the GIS Equipment Reserve, it requires a transfer of appropriations to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. And this requires an increase in materials and services of $3,000 and a decrease in contingencies of $3,000. And the final one is to help fund a portion of the software that they recently purchased.
Okay, would you go back to the first one, Melinda, please?
The on-site
The
septic.
on-site septic, I visited a little bit with, even though it's in the health department, we've taken that on from the state. And it is causing more for staff increase. But Bob talked about, and so did Joe, about the possibility of being involved with Morrow County. Is there any further development on that?
We're going, DEQ is pushing that, and continues to push it. There's no there's no downside to the county, as far as expenditures. They more than cover the costs. We were going to discuss that next week at our joint board meeting with Morrow County. There's also, DEQ would like to have us take over Wallowa County as well. But we were not very far with those conversations, but we will at our joint meeting on Monday. No, what day is it? October 10th. in Boardman will be talking about that.
Okay, so, I'm hoping that we can really have some discussion with Morrow County. You know, we went through this historically with building codes issues, and they tried to push more and more and more on us with no money. Here, you guys do it, but we're not giving you any money. I just hope this doesn't end up being one of those. That's not what we're talking about here, but I want us to be real wary of where we're going with it.
It'd be similar to an environmental health program that was already run, that the Umatilla County does it for Morrow County, and it's fee-driven, and
There,
they haven't had any difficulties with
no,
that.
there really isn't any. In essence, we're kind of I think we're kind of alerting Morrow County to the fact we're going to be performing those services in their county, but there really isn't much involvement they have in terms of paying, is there?
Other
No,
than
it's
they
not
would
come
be
from the county.
contracting.
That doesn't come from the county, it comes from the fees.
Right.
So,
Uh,
and our fee structure, isn't our fee structure adequate to cover the
Yes.
cost of the service? So they really can't underpay us because they aren't doing anything.
Well, no, I get that. I want to be sure that we don't end up in a situation like we could have with building codes, so.
Right. Well,
Okay,
Any other comment? Any comment from the audience? We're still in hearing.
We're actually not in hearing, this is
Went
on
out?
transfers.
Oh, all right.
On transfers. So I
All
guess
right.
unless you have any questions, you could probably move for action on those.
Okay.
okay. Mr. Chair, I would move approval of Budget Order 2019-24, on-site septic.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The Environmental Health Program, I would move Budget Order 2019-25.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And Budget Order 2019-26, Community Service Development.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And Budget Order 2019-27, the NAFA Special Projects, I would move approval. And for the record, that's our insurance payment that we get from the national insurance. Okay?
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 And Budget Order 2019-28, our equipment, GIS equipment reserve. Move approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We've never done this without Robert. Have we done everything he would do?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
So he'll be surprised.
Probably not.
No other items?
well, we have the 5 supplemental budgets.
Oh, okay. That's what I said. So we'll go back into hearing.
Are you going to present those, Doug?
I guess I can.
That's what I asked.
I mean,
If Robert was going to come do that, if you're going to do that.
So now we go into hearing mode.
These are all supplemental budgets, so yeah, it would require a hearing on each one.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is from the immunization program from Public Health, and it's requesting a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the time of the adoption of the budget. And this is for an increase in local revenue of $15,000, a decrease in state revenue of $1,262, and an increase in personnel services of $22,127, an increase in material and services of $5,000, and a decrease in general fund contingency of $13,389. Budget Order 2019-20 is for the civil program for the Sheriff's Department, and it's requiring a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the time of the adoption of the budget. And it's requesting an increase in the beginning cash balance of $42,000 and an increase in material and services of $42,000. Budget Order 2019-21 for Veteran Services Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the time of the adoption of the budget. And this is requesting an increase in state revenue of $1,321 and an increase in material and services of $1,321. Budget Order 2019-22 for the School-Based Health Center requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires a decrease in local revenues of $20,500, a decrease in state revenue of $10,000, a decrease in personnel services of $184,021, an increase in material and services of $117,887, and an increase in contingency of $35,634. And this is caused by the contracting out of those services rather than through the county. And did you want to do the last one?
We're kind of on a roll.
Late now.
Budget Order 2019-23 for the Wellness Hub requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. And this is requiring an increase in local revenue of $1,000, an increase in state revenue of $181,158, an increase in personnel services of $113,887, an increase in materials and services of $27,400, and an increase in general fund contingency of $40,871.
We are, Robert, for your benefit, we've already done the budget transfers, and we are now in a hearing on the supplemental budget. So would you like to add something to this conversation?
Does you have any questions? No.
Commissioner Gibbons?
Nope.
Immunizations may be an interesting issue since they can't get the vaccine.
That was the same, I was going to comment, but it's a moot point because you're right, you can't get the vaccine.
So,
My doctor's appointment yesterday, I asked about, oh, should I get a flu vac? Oh, yeah, you probably should, but we can't get the vaccine, so
I know.
didn't do much good.
There's three, to my knowledge, there's 3 flu clinics scheduled. I don't know that they have the vaccine to do it. So, all right. Anybody else have any comments, questions relative to any of these transfers? Okay, we'll go out of hearing and back into the regular session. And Commissioner Gibbons, if you go through those.
Okay, Budget Order 2019-19, our immunization program, the increase is trying to do that. If we get the flu vaccine, I would move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The GF Civil Program, 2019-20, I would move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye. And then our GF Veteran Services, 2019-21, I would move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
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 Our school-based health center program, is this going to be the increase in the individual that we have doing that?
Right, basically, rather than doing it through personnel services, we'll be contracting it out.
Okay, and we're reimbursed from the state on this?
Yes, this is all grant.
It's a
Okay.
group from Boardman. What's it
Right.
called? Columbia River,
Columbia Health.
Columbia Health.
Yeah, so, with that, Mr. Chair, I'd move approval of 2019-22.
Second, all in favor say aye.
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 And our wellness hubs, there again, 2019-23. So I would move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
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 So we're getting a pretty good chunk from the state now on that,
Yes, Wellness Hubs is funded by grants.
so.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Robert. That concludes our regular agenda. Commissioner Gibbons, do you have anything to add?
Do we need to go into an executive session?
Nothing I'm aware of.
No?
Okay.
Anything else?
I have nothing else on my reports. I will be attending the meeting this afternoon, the MPO meeting in Walla Walla.
Okay. Is that it? We're adjourned.